Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you guys how to make the perfect Mexican conchas every time. So in case you guys want to learn how to make this super easy and delicious sweet bread, just stay tuned and I'll show you how. Alright guys, so let's get started with the ingredients. So for this recipe we're going to need 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 cups of sugar, 1 tablespoon of instant yeast, a half a teaspoon of salt, half a tablespoon of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract, 3 eggs at room temperature, 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter at room temperature, 1 cup of evaporated milk. For our toppings, we're going to need 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract, 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter at room temperature, Nesquick strawberry powder, Hershey's cocoa, pink food coloring, extra butter at room temperature, and extra flour for dusting. So these are ingredients. Now let's get started. Alright guys, so first we're going to start by setting our oven to the lowest setting. Or if your oven has the option to set on warm proof mode, then we're going to use that setting. Alright, so now we're going to grab our 1 cup of evaporated milk and we're going to microwave it for 30 seconds. Alright, so once our milk has warmed up, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of the 3/4 cups of sugar and along with the 1 tablespoon of yeast. And this is the yeast that I'm using. I bought it at my meat market, but you can also buy it online. Or if not, you can use the one that they sell at Walmart, but make sure that it is the blue packet. So now we're just going to mix it all together until our yeast has dissolved a little. Alright, so now we're just going to set that to the side and wait about 5 to 10 minutes. Alright guys, so I am going to be using my stand mixer. If you don't have one, don't worry because you can always do it using your hands. But you're going to have to knead it for a good 20 minutes and make sure that it is a good knead. Okay, so first we're going to start by, in my mixing bowl, I'm going to sift my flour, my 4 cups of flour. We're also going to sift our sugar and our cinnamon. Okay, so now we're just waiting for our yeast and then we can move on to the next step. Alright, so while we continue waiting, we're just going to cut our butter. Just divide it into the tablespoons or just into small pieces like that. Just make sure that your butter, it is at room temperature, okay? Alright, so after 5 minutes, your yeast should look something like this. If your yeast does not look like this, then don't move on to the next step, okay? Otherwise, your bread is not going to rise. So make sure that this is already proofed. So on my stand mixer, I'm going to set it to the lowest setting and I'm going to mix all of my dry ingredients. Okay, so once that's mixed, we're going to add our butter. Our vanilla, and our yeast. So start mixing and then we're going to add our eggs. Alright, so now we're just going to mix for 10 minutes. And if you're kneading, make sure that you're kneading for 20 minutes. Alright guys, so after 5 minutes of mixing, we're going to add our salt. Or if you're kneading, at 10 minutes. And at this point, we're going to turn off the oven. Alrighty guys, so after 10 minutes, our dough should be done. As you can see, our dough is sticky, but it comes off pretty easy. So now we are ready to transfer it into our bowl. sticky. Perfect. All right, so in my glass bowl, I'm going to spray with non-stick cooking spray, or you can use the extra butter, just lightly like that. And now we're going to transfer our dough. And just fold it inward to make a ball. And of course, just make sure that your hands are clean. All right, so now I'm just going to cover it. You can cover it with plastic. I'm just going to use one of my lids and then a kitchen towel. All right, so now we're going to place our dough in the oven for about 1 to 2 hours or until our dough rises double its size. Remember, the oven is off. Alrighty guys, so while we wait for our dough to rise, we're going to start working on our topping. So on the bowl, I'm going to mix my powdered sugar. Make sure you sift it along with our flour. Now you can do this in the mixer, but you have to be very careful not to over mix it, otherwise you're going to end up with a glaze. So just sift that. Okay, just mix it together. Now we're going to add our butter. Make sure that it is at room temperature. Okay, now start mixing it. And we're also going to add our vanilla. So just mix it all together until we have a paste. And of course, just make sure that your hands are nice and clean. So just dissolve the butter with the powdered sugar and flour. All right, so once your topping looks like this, we are almost ready. Just make sure that you're not able to see any of our ingredients. So just make sure that everything is nicely mixed and combined. Okay, so you can form a ball. And this is our vanilla topping. Now, if you don't want no strawberry or chocolate topping, then you can stop here. Wrap your topping in plastic wrap or put it in a container. Make sure that you close it. Since I'm going to be showing you how to make strawberry and chocolate, I'm going to divide this topping into 3 parts. So just knead it a little bit on your countertop. So I'm just going to form a rectangle so like that it's easier for me to divide it. So I'm going to try to get it as even as possible. To get 3 fingers down. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put my vanilla into a little container. Just make sure you close it. Okay, this one's going to be my chocolate and my strawberry. Okay, so we're going to do our chocolate first. Just going to flatten out my vanilla topping. 1 teaspoon of Hershey's cocoa. And I'm going to sift it on the vanilla topping. So now we're just going to mix it. All right, so just mix it until you no longer see the powder. All right, so once our chocolate topping looks like this, we're going to put in a little bowl, cover it, and set it to the side. All right, so for my strawberry, I'm just going to do the same, just flatten it out. If you don't want to use the strawberry powder, you don't have to. All you have to do is just add your food coloring, but your topping is not going to taste like strawberry. So for me, I want my topping to taste like strawberry, so I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of my strawberry powder. So once again, sift it. And of course, you can get creative and just, add any food coloring to it, but it's not going to taste like anything, it's just going to be for show. So just mix your powder with your vanilla topping. Okay, so once you have combined that, we're going to add about 2 drops of our pink food coloring and just mix it. So just keep mixing until we have our strawberry topping. Oh. All right, so once we have our strawberry topping, we're going to do the same. Place it in a little container and close it. So now we have all of our toppings ready. Now we're just waiting for our dough. All right, guys, so before we get our dough out of the oven, we're going to prep our baking sheet where we're going to be cooking our conchas. I'm just going to spray it with non-stick cooking spray. You can use butter as well. We're just going to use it as glue for our parchment paper. Place your parchment paper like that. For now. Okay, so once we have that ready, we're going to clean our countertop where we're going to be working with our dough. All right, so after 2 hours of resting, this is what our dough looks like. So I'm just going to set it to the side. So we're going to sift our flour on our surface. So just enough where the dough is not going to stick to the countertop. So grab your dough, flip it over. Okay, so now we're going to push it inward to remove all the air. Okay. So that should be good. So I'm just going to flip it over. I'm going to form a log. So like that, it's gonna be easy for me to divide my dough into the amount of conchas that I'm going to make.
So you're going to run into 8. That's fine.
Okay, so I'm going to divide my dough into 8s. Okay, so just try to get it as even as possible, okay? Get them all into the right. Just get some flour on your knife. Cut them again. So I'm going for a bigger conchas. So 8s, it's good for me. So now we're going to roll our dough into little balls. Grab your dough and start pushing it inward. Kind of like to create a mushroom, like that. And then start rolling it. Start rolling it until we no longer see anything in the bottom like that. So roll it until the little belly button disappears. So once your dough looks like this, we're going to set it on our baking sheet and repeat that process until we have reached the desired amount of conchas that we're making. All right, so once we have our conchas all nicely rolled, we're going to grab our extra butter, rub it on the tip of our fingers, just like that, and massage our little balls. Make sure that all of them are nicely greased. Okay, so once we have that, we are ready to work on our topping. All right, so I'm going to be using my tortillero and 2 pieces of parchment paper. Now, if you don't have a tortillero, don't worry, you can always use the palm of your hands. And you know, like the same way that you make a tortilla is the same way that we're going to be making our topping. So I'm going to grab my topping and I'm going to cut it in half. And of course, it depends on how big you're making your conchas, and then it depends on how big you're going to split your topping. Okay, so for me, half of it is going to be for 1 concha. So now, grab extra butter, rub it in your hands, and we're going to be rolling our topping just to create a little ball. Like I said, if you don't have the tortillero, use your hands and you just work it like that. See how it's going to be extending? Same way. Okay, so I'm going to place it on my tortillero here and press it all the way down. Okay. So once it looks like this, we're going to place it on top of our concha. And just press it down. Okay, so now we're just going to repeat the process until all of our dough is covered with our topping. Alright guys, so once our dough is covered with our topping, we're going to grab our concha cutter and start designing our conchas. Now, if you don't have a concha cutter, don't worry, you can always use a knife and just create the design that you want. Okay, so grab it and just press it. And I'm just dipping it in flour. We're going to cover them and let them rest for about 30 to 45 minutes. So I'm going to put it back in the oven. Our oven is off, okay? So now we're just going to let them rise again. All right guys, so after 30 minutes, this is what our conchas look like. It's okay if, you know, they crack, something like that. Make sure that when you're cutting them or when you're pressing the concha cutter, you don't go all the way down, because otherwise it's going to cause all those little cracks. So now we're just going to preheat our oven to 325 degrees. Alright guys, so once our oven is ready, we're going to put our conchas in the oven between 18 to 20 minutes or until the bottom of our conchas has turned into a beautiful golden color. Alright guys, so after 20 minutes, this is what my conchas look like. Remember that depending on how big you make your conchas, it depends on how long you're going to cook them. So for me, it took 20 minutes. You know, like I said, I was going to make them big. And this is what you want your bottom to look like. Beautiful golden brown. So now we're just going to let them cool down for a little bit. And then we are going to be able to enjoy them. Alrighty guys, and now for the best part.
Taste test.
All we're missing is our cafecito, our champurrado or something, or even milk. The kids like eating it with milk, but we are ready. You ready?
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Super delicious, super flavorful. These taste like strawberry. They're just super delicious, you guys. The bread, super soft, and the bread has a lot of flavor itself. They're just perfect. Alrighty guys, and there you have it on how to make the perfect Mexican conchas. I hope you guys had enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and if you recreate this recipe, please don't forget to tag me on any of my social medias. And if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button so you guys can be part of our family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, no, no. Eres perfecta mujer, de la cabeza a los pies. Tú pasas de mi nivel, tú tienes el piquete. De la forma que tú besas, mami, más simétrica que un origami. De la forma que tú besas, mami, más simétrica que un origami. Eres